If you're a cat owner, you know that smell. That unmistakable, pungent smell that just hits you, and oh man, the frustration is real. Cat spraying is without a doubt one of the toughest behavior issues out there. It can really put a strain on the relationship you have with your cat. But here's the good news. This is a solvable problem. And today, we're going to break down exactly how to do it. And if you've ever felt that anger, that total desperation, believe me, you are not alone. This is a real quote from a cat owner who was at their wits' end, just like so many of us have been. They were shocked at how bad it had gotten, but you know what? They didn't give up. Instead, they got to work finding a solution. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We'll start with the problem itself. Then we'll decode what your cat is actually trying to tell you. We're going to become cat detectives, identify the usual suspects, and then lay out a crystal clear action plan. We'll also cover the one golden rule you can never, ever break, and we'll finish up by learning how to build a home where everyone feels secure and happy. Let's just state the obvious for a second. The smell is overwhelming, right? The stains are just upsetting. And that constant worry in the back of your mind that something is really wrong with your cat, it can be incredibly stressful. This isn't just a little mess, it's a huge source of anxiety in your home. So this right here is the single most important shift in mindset you can make. Your cat is not being bad. They're not doing this to get back at you or out of spite. Spraying is communication. It's a signal, a little scent-based SOS message that something in their world just isn't right. It's a cry for help. You see, cats use scent to say things that we use words for. They're leaving messages about their stress levels, whether they're looking for a mate, and how secure they feel in their own home. So our job isn't to get mad at them for talking. It's to learn their language so we can finally understand what they're saying. First things first, we've got to know what kind of message we're dealing with. Is it spraying or is it something else? Spraying is a marking behavior. You'll see your cat stand up, back up to something vertical like a wall or your couch, their tail shoots straight up and does this little quiver, and then they let out a small, really potent stream. Inappropriate urination, on the other hand, is just going to the bathroom in the wrong place. The cat squats down and lets out a big puddle on a flat surface, like the floor. Knowing which one it is absolutely key to finding the right solution. Okay, so now that we know we're dealing with spraying, it's time to put on our detective hats. This behavior doesn't just happen out of the blue. Something is triggering it. So we need to investigate the scene and figure out the motive behind the message. And your very first stop, and this is non-negotiable, is your vet. Seriously, one study found that over 60% of cases where a cat was peeing outside the litter box had a medical reason behind it. Things like urinary tract infections, they cause pain and stress, which can lead directly to spraying. You have to rule out a medical issue first. So once the vet gives you the all clear, we're left with these main behavioral triggers. We've got territorial disputes, that's a big one, a desire to mate, which is common in cats that aren't fixed. And then there's just general stress from changes in their environment or their daily routine. Let's be really clear about this. This is the big one. The number one cause of spraying is territorial anxiety. This can be caused by another cat living in your house or even just seeing a neighborhood cat walking past the window. Your cat feels like their space is being invaded, so they spray to basically redraw their property lines and feel more secure. All right, we get the why. Now let's talk about the how. How do we fix this? It's time to build a concrete step-by-step action plan to stop the spraying and bring some peace and quiet back to your home. Our action plan has 4 main pillars. We've already hammered home step 1, see your vet. Next up is learning how to clean properly, and trust me, it's more important than you think. Then we'll focus on making your cat feel totally secure in their own territory. And finally, we'll talk about enriching their world to build a happier, more confident cat. Cleaning is so critical because if even a tiny bit of that scent is left behind, your cat is going to go right back to that spot and mark it again. First, get a black light. You'll be horrified at what you find. Then use a simple vinegar and water mix to start neutralizing things. Follow that up with a good enzymatic cleaner. That's the stuff that actually breaks down and eats the urine molecules. And listen, this is vital. Never use ammonia-based cleaners. To a cat, ammonia smells a lot like urine, and it'll actually encourage them to spray there again. Before we go any further, we need to talk about the single biggest mistake people make. It's the one thing you must never, ever, ever do when you find a spot. Yelling at them, spraying them with a water bottle, rubbing their nose in it, just don't. None of it works. In fact, it does the exact opposite of what you want. Punishment will always, always make spraying worse. And this quote explains exactly why. Remember the top triggers for spraying?
Stress and anxiety. Well, when you punish a cat, you send their stress levels through the roof. You are literally pouring gasoline on the fire. You're amplifying the very feeling that's causing them to spray in the first place. It creates a vicious cycle that you just can't win.
So instead of adding stress, our goal is to remove it. The best long-term solution is to create an environment where your cat feels so safe, so confident, and so secure that they don't even feel the need to send out those anxious little messages anymore. Now, if your cat isn't spayed or neutered, this is probably the most effective single step you can take. Getting them fixed can dramatically reduce or even completely eliminate spraying that's driven by hormones. And just look at these numbers. We're talking a 90% reduction in males and an incredible 95% reduction in females. It's a total game changer. Okay, let's build that fortress of confidence. If you have more than one cat, you have to reduce competition. Follow the rule, 1 litter box per cat plus 1 extra. Make sure each cat has their own food and water bowls so there's no fighting over resources. Cats also love to be up high, so get some cat trees and shelves. If neighborhood cats are the problem, use frosted window film to block the view. And finally, cats are creatures of habit. A predictable routine for feeding and playtime goes a long, long way. Here's the bottom line. A bored cat is a stressed cat. So a confident, engaged, and mentally stimulated cat is a much happier cat. And a happier cat has way less need to spray. By enriching their world and giving them a solid routine, you're getting right to the root of the anxiety that causes this behavior in the first place. Ultimately, solving this whole issue really comes down to a shift in how you see it. So the next time you find a spot, before you get frustrated, just stop and ask yourself this question. Are you looking at a bad cat who's just misbehaving? Or are you looking at a stressed cat who's asking for your help in the only language they know? Answering that one question can honestly change everything.